Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tyler, and today I am bringing you guys another Cobra Kai What If, yes sir, and today we're going to be doing What If Kreese turned good. Now, for clarification, Kreese isn't going to be evil in Cobra Kai and then turn good. What I mean is, when he's originally intended to be good, we're basically going to go that route. Instead of Kreese being a slimy rat and basically manipulating his way back on top of the food chain, we are basically going to be saying, what if he actually just wanted to help Johnny rebuild Cobra Kai and rebuild what he once had? And since Johnny's giving him a second chance, he figures why not take this opportunity and actually, grow from it. And with this, Kreese is actually going to be committed to helping Johnny. So he's not going to try and snake him or anything. He's actually going to be trying to be a good person. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you do enjoy this video and you guys want more Cobra Kai What If, suggest me them in the comment section along with leaving a like on the video. Anyways, I'm just going to shut up and let the intro play, and I hope you guys do enjoy the rest of the video.
You was on some op shit. I was cruising down a nigga block with a chopstick. Rockstar nigga. Nah, I need a rock bitch. Nah, bitches, nah, squash bitch. That boy like that.
Alright, so in this timeline, we still get the backstory revealed to us about Kreese and how he's basically in a shelter right now, and he's not living the best. Kreese also still goes on to rebuild the second place trophy that he got back when he fought Daniel the first time, and Kreese would go on to say how he may have gotten second place, but in his opinion, he was always the better fighter. This isn't going to be Kreese's way of slowly getting back into Cobra Kai and getting back on top and basically betraying Johnny. None of that stuff is happening here. What's going to be happening is instead, this is actually all just intention for Kreese to redeem himself, because Kreese genuinely has guilt in this timeline, and we genuinely feel this as a viewer. And we actually feel Kreese being guilty. There's no manipulation here, no rattiness. There's just nothing but good intent in Kreese's heart in this timeline. So when Johnny accepts Kreese back into Cobra Kai, Kreese is genuinely shocked, and he's not going to have a little smirk under his face and basically turns around and then goes on to, help out Johnny. There's genuine feelings being felt here, and Kreese is actually happy that his student actually showed mercy to him. Kreese says how, again, he's sorry for all of his actions, and he's really going to try and redeem himself from here on out. Johnny says how if he can change up his ways, so can Kreese, and they can do it for the better of Cobra Kai and the next generation. At that point, Kreese is now going to be a somewhat of a helper to Johnny. Now, I would still like for Kreese to come in early and basically still put motivation into Johnny's students, which would allow them to then go on to do the cement training. I think that should all still happen the same, and I think here it's just Kreese having better intentions than what Johnny sees. Kreese had to slap up some motivation in them, and this got the job done, and Johnny sees Kreese, trying to get out there and try and help out his students. Now, here, Kreese isn't going to be on about Robbie and him joining Cobra Kai. He might ask Johnny maybe one time about it, but once Johnny makes it clear that that's Daniel's student, Kreese is just going to leave it alone. He's not going to try and push over this fact that they need Robbie and Cobra Kai. Kreese in this timeline just leaves it be and isn't going to keep on pushing Johnny about Robbie joining Cobra Kai or anything like that. However, he does suggest to Johnny that he better make sure that Daniel doesn't get his paws on Miguel, which would lead into that scene with him and Johnny in the restaurant. And just like in canon, we transition into Johnny and Miguel and the rest of the Cobra Kai basically crashing Miyagi-Do's festival, and we would then have Tori join Cobra Kai like in canon. And another minor thing, I think when Kreese is talking to Daniel with Johnny, I don't think he's going to be kind of like, oh, Johnny's going to make Cobra Kai better than anything or anything like that. But Kreese is going to say something rather like how they're basically trying to make a difference and people deserve second chance. And Daniel's not falling for this, and instead of just asking Johnny about Robbie, he just leaves the area and decides to just keep Robbie. Now, I think the next biggest change we would have is when Dimitri comes into the Cobra Kai dojo. Instead of him gonna, literally just get punched by Kreese, it's gonna be way different because Kreese isn't going to have this kind of attitude. Rather, he's probably gonna say if Johnny doesn't want him, then he's not gonna come back, and Dimitri says fair enough, and Kreese just leaves it at that. No harassment, no nothing. This will drastically change the timeline, considering this is probably one of the main reasons why most of the drama in Season 2 goes down. down. Kreese doesn't punch Dimitri, which means Dimitri never snitches, which means Hawk never goes in to try and jump Dimitri, which means no mall fight, which also means Hawk and Moon never break up. Hawk would never even go into the dojo to let out his rage in the first place, but even if he did, Kreese is never going to say, oh, well, the fight isn't over until you say it's over. He's not going to bring that old philosophy back into the dojo, especially when Johnny gave him a second chance, and in this timeline, he's actually not being manipulative and is actually trying to redeem himself. So this means Robbie and Hawk never have their fight, and Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai aren't really having as much tension as they normally would against each other in canon, because again, they're not having all these fights and all this stuff happening. Daniel also never goes down to the Cobra Kai dojo personally to try and tell Johnny to stop and basically bring back the Medal of Honor. The Medal of Honor isn't even stolen in the first place because this never happened and is never initiated. So this basically means the majority of the drama is not happening here. Now, there are a few other scenes that are going to change. The first one I want to go over is Daniel and Kreese interacting, and Daniel going over to Miyagi-Do talking about war. This never even happens considering this is a completely different Kreese, so we can just disregard that. The next thing would be when Johnny leaves Cobra Kai to hang out with his old Cobra Kai buddies. Kreese is actually going to be carrying the philosophy that Johnny was teaching them originally and is just teaching the class what Johnny normally would teach and isn't going to be teaching anyone about his old philosophy, or aka the old Cobra Kai philosophy. It's going to be still the new Cobra Kai philosophy, which is sometimes showing mercy. Showing mercy sometimes was the reason why Kreese was actually able to be given a second chance. It was actually able to live better than when he did before he got the second chance, because he was in a fucking shelter. He just wasn't living right. But because of Johnny, he was given a second chance and now he's living better than where he was before. If Johnny never showed Kreese his new philosophy, he would have never basically gotten out of that hole that he basically dug himself. And he would then go on to even explain about the old story, which is, you know, back after Karate Kid 1 where he nearly killed Johnny. And Kreese says how it was one of the biggest regrets in his life, and Johnny still managed to forgive him, and now they're in a much better spot, and he can't really thank Johnny enough. This puts a new perspective in the kids' minds, and this means Miguel is actually going to be fucking with Kreese and is not at first going to be questioning his methods. And as well, Tori's not going to be talking about fighting for what's hers or whatever. She might at first, but I think Kreese would get to her about sometimes showing mercy. Remember, the only reason why Tori was kind of acting like this or embracing this was because of the fact that Kreese was still on about that old philosophy, but he's not anymore. So really, Tori kind of has to change up, or at least grow from this, because now she has no one that's embracing the old Cobra Kai philosophy, which means she can't act like a wacko nut job. And this would transition into Johnny returning, and for Coyote Creek, no one is going to be showing no mercy or anything like that. If anything, after the opponents get knocked down, we can actually see Miguel and Tori picking them back up. And Johnny's actually seeing that Kreese is making a difference in these kids' lives and has been pushing the old teachings that Johnny's been teaching them for the past 2 seasons now. Or I guess for season 2, because technically they showed no mercy in season 1, but you guys get the point, you guys understand what I'm saying. Since Kreese has been kind of picking up on Johnny's slack whenever he's not around, Johnny's honestly happy that Kreese has shown that he's actually changing and didn't just do this to just rat his way back into Cobra Kai. And so because of this, this means Johnny is never going to kick out Kreese in this timeline. We move into everyone hanging out at Moon's party, and there's not as much tension as there would be in canon, but there still is a little tension. Hawk and Dimitri aren't really like enemies, and they're still kind of friends still, so you can maybe have Dimitri and Hawk kind of bond over Doctor Who. And Hawk isn't going to embarrass Dimitri, which means Dimitri isn't going to embarrass Hawk. Now, Miguel and Sam are never going to kiss here, and here is why. The reason why they even got that scene, or they even interacted in the first place, was because Sam wanted to thank Miguel about, you know, taking the Medal of Honor back. But that never happened because Cobra Kai never vandalizes Miyagi-Do in the first place. So if anything, Sam's still going to be with Aisha until the cops roll up. This means Tori has no reason to start the school fight, and if anything, Tori probably won't even start the school fight anyway, considering the fact that 1, Miguel and Sam aren't even going to kiss, and she's having a new philosophy, which is, you know, sometimes showing mercy, which would eventually come down to her just trying to move on from past the Sam situation. Now, I think Daniel would still be initially mad at Robbie after the whole party thing, but I think Johnny and Robbie would be on good terms for a bit up until Daniel eventually forgives Robbie, and then he'll be back on Miyagi-Do. But Robbie can actually live with Johnny in this timeline, and Johnny and Daniel themselves are actually kind of cool with each other. No school fight, which means basically no season 3. And there really isn't a season 3 anyway, considering the fact that Cobra Kai isn't an enemy and Kreese isn't a villain. So none of that stuff is happening, and Daniel doesn't even need to go to Okinawa because the school fight never draws his business away. Literally barely anything from season 3 even happens, and Carmen and Johnny unironically stay together, so Johnny and Allie aren't even going to be, you know, close to kissing or anything like that, and Johnny's going to be straight up with Allie from the start and from the get-go. That's literally all that's different in season 3, the Allie interaction, but that's about it, and the changes aren't even that significant in the first place. So season 3 is non-existent, and the series essentially ends on season 2. And this is where we are going to be leaving our story off for right now. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe if you are new, and hit the bell icon. That way you're notified and updated every time I upload, and follow me on Twitter. My name is Tyler, and I'm going to see you all in the next one. Peace out. Have a nice rest of the day, everybody. Peace.
Oh, damn. Okay, never mind. What hit it? Shit.